Honey, about the mountain lodge trip next month. My mom's voice trailed off during our weekly phone call. I could already sense something was wrong from her hesitant tone. Emma doesn't think it's a good idea for you to come. She wants it to be more intimate. Emma, my younger sister. The one whose college tuition I'd helped pay. The same sister whose dream vacation I'd just funded by putting down a deposit on a luxury mountain lodge for our supposed family reunion. Intimate? I repeated, my voice steady despite the hurt building in my chest. Mom, I paid for the lodge. The whole thing. I know, sweetie, and we're so grateful. But Emma's bringing her new boyfriend, and she thinks having her boring older sister there might make things awkward. You understand, right? My name is Olivia Mitchell, and at 32, I'd just been uninvited from a family vacation I'd paid for. The irony wasn't lost on me. Besides, Mom continued, filling the silence, someone needs to watch the cats. You know how expensive pet sitters are these days. Of course, I was good enough to be their bank and pet sitter, but not good enough to be included in the family photos. I sat in my home office, staring at the confirmation email for the lodge booking. $8,000 for a week-long stay. Money I'd saved from my job as an environmental scientist, hoping to finally have that perfect family gathering we'd never managed to have growing up. My phone buzzed with a text from Emma. Mom told you, right? Don't take it personally, but Jake and I are trying to make a good impression on everyone. Your whole science nerd vibe doesn't really fit the aesthetic we're going for. Thanks for understanding. Jake, her boyfriend of 3 months. Apparently, he warranted an invitation more than I did. Another text, this time from Dad. Princess, you're always so responsible. We know we can count on you to hold down the fort. Emma needs this time to shine. Emma had always been the family star. The pretty one. The social butterfly. While I spent my weekends in science fairs and later in laboratories, she was winning beauty pageants and collecting Instagram followers. Our parents never missed her events, but somehow always had conflicts when it came to my achievements. I opened my laptop and pulled up my bank statement. Besides the lodge deposit, there were dozens of transactions supporting my family over the years. Emma's college tuition payments, Mom's medical bills when she needed surgery, the loan I'd given Dad to keep his business afloat during COVID. They had never paid me back. Not that I'd asked them to. Family helps family, that's what they always said. At least when they needed something from me. My phone buzzed again. A group chat message from Emma, including photos of the lodge's luxury suites. Can't wait. Jake's going to love it. Mom and Dad get the master suite, obviously. Sarah and Tom get the Lakeview room, and Jake and I called dibs on the Sunset Suite. Sarah, our cousin, and her husband Tom were invited too. Interesting. The same Sarah who'd borrowed money from me last year for her destination wedding and still hadn't paid it back. I looked around my home office at the awards and certificates on the walls. Outstanding Research Contribution, Environmental Conservation Award, recognition for groundbreaking work in forest preservation. None of which mattered to my family as much as Emma's latest Instagram milestone. My fingers hovered over the keyboard, tempted to remind them who was funding their intimate family gathering. Instead, I typed, "No problem. Have fun." Emma responded immediately, "You're the best. Don't forget to water Mom's plants too while we're gone." I closed my laptop and walked to the window, looking out at the city skyline. 10 years of being the family ATM, the reliable one, the responsible one. 10 years of watching from the sidelines as they celebrated each other while treating me like an afterthought. The mountain lodge was supposed to be different. I planned everything. The hiking trails I wanted to show them, the local conservation project I was involved in, the sunset spots perfect for those family photos they loved so much. But as usual, Emma had other plans. And as usual, our parents fell in line with whatever she wanted. My phone buzzed one more time. Mom again. "We'll bring you back a souvenir. And don't forget, Rocky needs his medicine twice daily. You're such a blessing. Always helping out." A blessing, right? More like a convenient resource to be used and discarded. I walked to my desk and opened the bottom drawer, pulling out a folder labeled Property Documents. Inside was something my family didn't know about, something that would make their perfect mountain getaway a little less perfect. Maybe it was time they learned what happened when you take your blessing for granted. The week before their mountain getaway, I watched my family's excitement build through their group chat messages. Emma shared outfit plans for every day. Sarah posted about the spa treatments she'd booked using my lodge credit. and Mom kept tagging Jake in photos of the gourmet kitchen where she planned to host intimate family dinners. Not once did anyone question how strange it was to exclude the person who made it all possible. I spent that week making calls and sending emails, pieces of a plan falling into place like a perfectly solved puzzle. The lodge management was particularly interested in my documentation showing I was the sole payer for the reservation. Ms. Mitchell, the manager had said, as the booking holder, you have every right to modify the reservation details. Would you like to make any changes? I did several, in fact. The day they were supposed to leave, I received a flurry of messages. Emma sent selfies from their departure breakfast at Mom's house. Road trip time. Jake is so excited. Thanks again for pet sitting, sis. Sarah shared photos of her packed bags. Can't wait for a week of luxury. You're missing out, Olivia. Missing out. Right. I waited until I knew they'd be halfway to the lodge before making my final call. The lodge manager confirmed everything was set according to my instructions. Perfect. At 4:30 p.m., exactly when they should have been arriving, my phone exploded with notifications. First came the confused messages. There must be some mistake. They're saying our reservation was modified. Olivia, are you getting these messages? Then came the angry ones. The suite assignments are all wrong. Jake and I specifically requested the sunset room. They gave us the smallest cabins. Finally, my mother called. Olivia, thank goodness you answered. There's a problem at the lodge. They're saying the reservation was changed to individual cabins instead of the main lodge, and they won't let us switch. Emma is crying. Her perfect trip is ruined. I sat in my quiet home office, Rocky the cat purring on my lap. Oh, that's strange. What did the manager say? He said since you're the booking holder, only you could authorize changes. We tried explaining we're family, but he insisted. Can you call them and fix this? I stroked Rocky's fur, thinking about all the times they'd excluded me, dismissed me, taken my help for granted. Actually, Mom, the reservation is exactly as I modified it last week. 5 separate cabins, 1 for each couple or individual. The main lodge is occupied by another group now. Silence. Then, what do you mean you modified it? Why would you do that? Well, since I wasn't invited to this intimate family gathering despite paying for it, I thought everyone might appreciate some extra intimacy. Each cabin has its own kitchen, so you won't have to share family dinners. Emma and Jake can have all the privacy they need for their aesthetic. Sarah and Tom can enjoy their spa treatments without worrying about group schedules. But that's not what we planned. Emma wanted everyone together. No, Mom. Emma wanted everyone she approved of together. There's a difference. My phone buzzed with a text from Emma. Way to ruin everything. Jake is so uncomfortable now. This isn't the luxury vacation I promised him. I replied in the group chat so everyone could see. The cabins are actually more expensive than the main lodge. Consider it my treat, an upgrade, if you will. After all, isn't that what family does? Help each other out. Sarah chimed in. This is petty, Olivia. We would have invited you if you weren't so. You. I smiled, attaching photos of the checks and transfer receipts from over the years. The college tuition payments, the medical bills, the wedding loans. Funny, I wasn't to me when you all needed money. The group chat went silent. Even Emma, usually quick with a defensive response, had nothing to say. Mom called again, her voice smaller now. Honey, we never meant to hurt you. We just. Emma thought. Emma wanted. Emma needed. I know, Mom. That's how it's always been. Well, now Emma has her private cabin with Jake, and you all have exactly what you asked for. An intimate family vacation. Enjoy your week. Don't forget to post lots of pictures. I hung up, turning my phone to silent as it lit up with more messages and calls. Rocky stretched in my lap, completely unaware of the family drama unfolding miles away. Walking to my window, I looked out at the city lights beginning to twinkle in the dusk. On my desk lay a brochure for a different mountain resort, one where I booked myself a private cabin for the following week. Sometimes the best family moments are the ones you create for yourself. My phone kept buzzing with unread messages, but for the first time in years, I felt no obligation to respond. They wanted intimacy. Well, they were about to get 7 days of it, just not quite the way they planned. 3 days into their intimate family vacation, the messages had evolved from anger to bargaining. Emma sent photos of her and Jake cramped in their cabin, complaining about the limited space. Sarah moaned about having to walk to the main lodge for meals instead of having family dinners in the gourmet kitchen. Mom tried guilt-tripping me with pictures of empty chairs at their cabin's small dining table. "Look how much space we have for one more person," she texted. "It's not too late to join us, honey." I was sitting in my backyard garden enjoying a peaceful evening with a glass of wine when Dad called. "Princess," he started, using his negotiator voice. "I think we all got off on the wrong foot here. Emma feels terrible. She didn't mean to exclude you. She just wanted everything to be perfect for Jake." "Perfect for Jake," I repeated. "A stranger was more important than your daughter." The silence on his end spoke volumes. "You know, Dad, I found something interesting while organizing my files last week." I took a sip of wine. "Remember that business loan you needed during COVID? The one the bank rejected?" "Olivia, that's ancient history. The money I gave you, that wasn't just my savings. It was the down payment for my own house. I put off my dreams to save your business, and you never even told Mom where the money came from. She still thinks the bank approved the loan." More silence. "Princess." "Don't princess me, Dad. I'm done being a family ATM who's not good enough to be in the family photos." After hanging up, I opened my email to find a message from the lodge manager. Apparently, Emma had tried to sweet-talk him into combining their cabins or switching to the main lodge, offering to pay the difference. He politely reminded her that any changes needed my authorization. That evening, Sarah posted a passive-aggressive status update. "Family vacations aren't the same when certain people let their feelings get in the way of everyone's happiness." I commented with a screenshot of her unpaid wedding loan statement. "Neither are wedding loans when certain people forget to repay them." The post was deleted within minutes. By day 5, something unexpected happened. Emma's perfect boyfriend Jake reached out to me directly. "Hey, I didn't know you paid for all this." Emma told me her parents were funding the trip. "I feel awful about the situation. Actually, the separate cabins helped me see some things clearly about Emma, about your family dynamic. I'm heading home early. Thanks for inadvertently helping me dodge a bullet." I smiled, imagining Emma's reaction to her boyfriend leaving mid-vacation. Sure enough, an hour later, the group chat exploded with Emma's dramatic messages about Jake abandoning her and how it was all my fault. "Mom tried damage control. Maybe if we were all together in the main lodge, this wouldn't have happened." I replied, "Or maybe if you raised Emma to be less entitled and more appreciative, she wouldn't drive people away." On their last day, Dad made one final attempt to smooth things over. He sent a long message about family sticking together, about how they'd taken me for granted, about how they wanted to make things right. I responded by sending him the brochure for my upcoming solo trip. "I'll be here next week in a lovely cabin with a view of the sunrise. I'll be hiking, photographing wildlife, and working on my forest conservation project. I won't be checking my phone for emergency fund requests or pet sitting duties. For once, I'm putting myself first." The day they returned home, I was preparing for my own trip when Mom showed up at my door. She looked tired, defeated. "The cats missed you," she said weakly, holding out their carrier. "I'm sure they did. Just like you all miss my wallet when it's not available." She flinched. "We deserve that. All of it. Emma's been impossible since Jake left. Sarah's husband keeps asking about their loan. Your father, he finally told me about the COVID money." I took the cat carrier, setting it down gently. Rocky and Mittens meowed in greeting. "You know what hurts the most, Mom? Not the money, not even the exclusion. It's that none of you saw me, really saw me. My achievements, my passions, my worth beyond what I could give you." Tears welled in her eyes. "Can we fix this?" "Maybe, but not with grand gestures or family vacations. It starts with respect, with recognition, with treating me like a daughter, not a convenience." She nodded slowly. "Your father showed me the brochure. The conservation project sounds fascinating. I'd like to learn more about what you do." It was a small step, but perhaps a meaningful one. The next week, as I settled into my cabin, I posted a photo of the sunrise. No family drama, no forced poses, just the pure beauty of nature. Emma unfollowed me immediately. Sarah made a snippy comment about flaunting my solo trip. But Mom liked the photo and commented, "Beautiful view, honey. Tell me more about the forest conservation work you're doing there." Sometimes I realized the best family moments aren't the perfectly staged ones. They're the honest ones, even if they come after shaking up everyone's perfect plans. Rocky and Mittens curled up beside me as I watched the mountains turn golden in the morning light. For the first time in years, I felt truly at peace with my choices. Sometimes standing up for yourself means letting go of the role others had chosen for you, even if that role comes with the title of family.